Hi. Now when you machine your pieces together, the next part would be is for you to iron it. As you see already, so I open my seam on the side seam, so I ironed that open, and also I gave a little notch on each side to enable to, because it's a curved line, enable to flatten that area. Where it goes to your facing, it's very important to iron it towards the lining. The reason is because the fabric itself, the facing is quite thick, and if you open it, that seam, it will create a double thickness on that, and therefore it will later shows on actual gown. So we just, it's best to do it is just to iron it towards the lining. So if I just show you on the right side as well, see that's how it looks, so nice and neat. The next part would be it's to attaching your skirt to the front bodies. And for this, make sure you trim your seam allowance. I think I already said it before, is it's be easier for you to attach it up, items together when there's a less seam allowance. So I trimmed it and left 2.5. Now exactly same, this one, it's my skirt. And if you look on this skirt, if I just move towards that, so you can see, I straight away identified with W, so this is my waist. So you remember and not get confused which part you're touching. So you can see also that shape, and I marked my pleats. So again, if you are confused, if you're not sure which part is which, so this one is the front and this is the pleat, come back to your pattern and take all that information and put on in your lining. So when I identify which one is lines which, so now I'm going to attach the two things together. So it's right side with the right side. So my front, the front of my skirt, and the skirt should be slightly bigger, so it's fuller here. When we draft it, we add some extra seam, extra volume in that, and that's it have to be like that. So the first thing we need to do is just going to pin it together, and which just helps you to machine it. So I've got my markings with that, so I haven't marked that side, so I'm going to mark that. So I've got 2.5 seam allowance, so just to help me to find and 5 centimeters here the exact point. So it's helping it to match with the stuff. So I'm just going to mark that. So I've got the my little point where I'm going to match my waist with that. Yes. So the next part I'm going to do is I'm going to attach where my pleat is finished to that point here, which is the side panel. It's similar how you did with your top fabric. So I'm attaching that together. Okay. And now I'm pinning that by distributing evenly extra fabric you're going to have from the waist on the skirt. So pin that together. Okay, so now when you paint, make sure it's all lays flat. So here's make sure the similar lines are matching there, and you need to machine that as the previous seams we machined is just a few millimeters away from pinning line or from your actual machining line to make it your lining bigger, and machine along that parallel to that line, and then machine into your seam allowance, which is in the, if you are work very carefully, follow my instructions, your top fabric, your top panels would be stopped where the seam allowance starts and the pleat starts. But in the lining case, I would like you to continue machining right to your to finish your seam allowance. So you machine it right to that, and you will have extra fabric here, extra lining, and I will explain to you what to do with that later on when we're going to apply your lining and facing together. So yeah, so just continue machining together, so we'll get one piece. So when you've done that, your next part would be, after when you machine it, you press your seam allowance down. Now again, that's a reason because your facing is got a thicker fabric, and therefore everything will be pressed down. I'm just going to get you, I've already done it for you in advance. I'm just going to get that. You can see. So you can see what I've done. There we go. So I've done it in the red thread so you can see better. But as you see, press that down, all my seams, and machine right to the end here. So you have a little step like that from the pleat, but it's machined all in one line. So that's lining and facing together. Make sure you keep everything pressed. And now you can see also pressed down, nice and neat. Okay, so our next part would be applying our facing in onto the lapel and lining. Thank you.